of her life, she thought. Every time she'd heard the family story, every time she'd begged her grandparents to tell it, wheedled for more details. She'd been honing her craft in every hour she'd spent lying in bed as a child, imagining the adventure. It had seemed so romantic to her, so exciting, and the best part was that it was her family, her blood. Her current project was coming along well. She was calling it just Big Jack, and she thought her great-grandfather would have gotten a very large charge out of it. She wanted to get back to it, to dive headlong into Jack O'Hara's world of cons and scams and life on the lam. Between the tour and the pre-tour rounds, she hadn't had a full hour to write, and she was due. But she wasn't going straight to work. She wasn't going to think about work for at least 48 blissful hours. She was going to dump her bags, and she might just burn everything in them. She was going to lock herself in her own wonderful, quiet house. She was going to run a bubble bath, open a bottle of champagne. She'd soak and she'd drink, and then she'd soak and drink some more. If she was hungry, she'd buzz something up in the auto chef. She didn't care what it was because it would be her food in her kitchen. Then she was going to sleep for 10 hours. She wasn't going to answer the telelink. She'd contacted her parents, her brother, her sister, her grandparents from the air, and told them all she was going under for a couple of days. Her friends and business associates would wait a day or two. Since she'd ended what had passed for a relationship over a month before, there wasn't any man waiting for her. That was probably just as well. She sat up when the car veered toward the curb. Home. She'd been drifting, she realized, lost in her own thoughts as usual, and hadn't realized she was home. She gathered her notebook, her traveling bag. Riding on Delight, she overtipped the driver when he hauled her suitcase and carry-on to the door for her. She was so happy to see him go, so thrilled that he'd be the last person she'd have to speak to until she decided to surface again. She nearly kissed him on the mouth. Instead, she resisted, waved him off, then dragged her things into the tiny foyer of what her grandmother liked to call Sam's urban dollhouse. "I'm back!" She leaned against the door, breathed deep, then did a hip-shaking, shoulder-rolling dance across the floor. "Mine, mine, mine! It's all mine! Baby, I'm back!" She stopped short, arms still flung out in her dance of delight, and gaped at her living area. Tables and chairs were overturned, and her lovely little settee was lying on its back like a turtle on its shell. Her screen was off the wall and lay smashed in the middle of the floor, along with her collection of framed family photos and holograms. The walls had been stripped of paintings and prints. Sam slapped both hands to her head, fisted her fingers in her short red hair, and let out a bellow. "For God's sake, Andrea! House-sitting doesn't mean you actually sit on the goddamn house." Having a party was one thing, but this was just beyond. She was going to kick some serious ass. She yanked her pocket link out of her jacket and snapped out the name, Andrea Jacobs. "Former friend," she added on a mutter as the transmission went through. Gritting her teeth, she spun on her heel and headed out of the room, started up the stairs as she listened to Andrea's recorded message. "What the hell did you do?" she barked into the link. "Set off a bomb? How could you do this, Andrea? How could you destroy my things and leave this mess for me to come home to? Where the hell are you? You'd better be running for your life, because when I get my hands... Jesus Christ, what is that smell? I'm going to kill you for this, Andrea." The stench was so strong, she was forced to cover her mouth with her hand as she booted open the bedroom door. "It reeks in here. And oh, God, my bedroom! I'm never going to forgive you. I swear to God, Andrea, you're dead. Lights," she snapped out. And when they flashed on, when she blinked her eyes clear, she saw Andrea sprawled on the floor on a heap of stained bedclothes. She saw she was right. Andrea was dead.